Right now, as an alleged drug dealer makes an appearance in court for homicide, the victim's family tells the other side of the story.
And with UW graduation right around the corner, new statistics show less than 3 of every 10 students will go into the field they are majored in.
Plus, a crucial Game 3 in Boston. The Bucks try to regain the series lead. The highlights in sports.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for joining us. A Beloit man charged with first-degree reckless homicide appears in court for the first time today.
Rock County reporter Adam Duxter joins us now with the other side of the story and how a family is remembering their loved one.
Well, many of us have heard stories of drugs, overdoses, and the opioid epidemic in Wisconsin, but rarely do we hear from families dealing with the loss of a loved one firsthand. Tonight, we meet Olivia.
Her family, her love for animals, she liked photography, liked being outside with her cousins.
Amy Wren says her niece Olivia had a smile that could light up a room.
She's carefree and loving and ended up being a very empathetic girl, kind to others.
The Edgerton teen loved her friends and her family too. After graduation, she started studying for a career in the dental field. But in December of last year,
lots of shock, hard to breathe.
She was found unresponsive in her car in the parking lot of the Woodmans in Beloit.
Sheer disbelief that this had actually impacted her and taken her life ultimately.
In the weeks that followed, Olivia's family learned she had recently been introduced to heroin by a close friend. On the day she died, she'd taken a lethal dose mixed with fentanyl.
This is a true epidemic that you think it may not affect people you know, but it absolutely does.
Just weeks ago, police say they were able to link Chaz Harris of Beloit to the drugs given to Olivia. He now faces charges of first-degree reckless homicide and made his first appearance in court today. Olivia's family says they'll never forget her love for animals, photography, and others.
We just try to, keep her memory alive every day.
Despite the fact it's still so hard to believe she's gone.
Just look at her face. She's just a normal kid.
Olivia's family say they want to create change, most notably working to increase the amount of resources available for people struggling with substance abuse in Rock County. For now, they say even the smallest signs let them know she's there with them each day.
Adam, thank you. The Oregon School District is investigating a racially charged incident involving their students. District officials confirmed to News 3 Now that one student sent this social media post to another student. We are blurring the image to protect the student's privacy. In that photo, a young man is wearing some sort of face mask. The text reads, in part, quote, "I'm black now. I have the N-word card and you can't stop me," end quote. Oregon Superintendent Brian Bussler said this kind of behavior is not acceptable, writing in a statement, quote, "This type of behavior is not acceptable. We value all students, and as an educational institution, it is our responsibility to provide a safe, secure, and respectful learning environment for all students." The district is investigating and figuring out proper disciplinary action.
A police officer is on leave tonight in northern Wisconsin after an officer-involved shooting late last night. Police say a man tried to run over an officer outside of a hotel in Abbotsford. That officer then fired at the man through the car window, hitting him at least one time. After a pursuit, police eventually arrested the suspect, and he was taken to the hospital. He is expected to be okay. A Madison police officer narrowly avoided being run over yesterday. It happened in the parking lot near the Meadow Ridge Library and Walgreens on Raymond Road around 6 o'clock. Police were on the lookout for a suspect car believed to have been involved in a hit and run earlier near East High School. When an officer asked the teenage driver to turn the car off, he instead put it in reverse and crashed into the officer's squad car. 3 of the 5 people in the car were arrested. 2 were juveniles. 1 was an adult.
Looking at the forecast now, things are looking up for the weekend. Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
Not only are things looking up, so are the temperatures. We should be looking for high temperatures close to 70 for both tomorrow and Sunday. As we look at satellite and radar tonight, kind of in between weather systems, a little weather system came through with some clouds this afternoon, producing some showers down towards Chicago. And then to our north and west, there's a weakening area of showers and some isolated thunderstorms from earlier. Most of those showers will travel to the north of us, and that area of showers should fall apart before it reaches us later tonight or tomorrow. Low temperatures this morning started out in the lower 30s here in Madison. Most areas, though, were in the upper 30s to around 40. High temperatures today A little bit milder than yesterday, 59 the high here in Madison, but a few 60s are found to our west. To the east, temperatures stayed cooler close to Lake Michigan. Right now, Milwaukee's at 42, Manitowoc and Sheboygan are at 41, while Madison's at 46, and temperatures are still around 50 near the Mississippi River. Visibility right now looking pretty good. Might see a few patchy areas of fog late tonight, but less fog than the last couple of nights. By tomorrow morning, temperatures will be in the upper 30s to low 40s. Look for partly sunny skies tomorrow. Just a slight chance for a shower in the afternoon. Our high temperature a little milder, though, at 68 degrees. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. North Korea has fired what South Korea is calling several projectiles. It happened around 9:15 Saturday morning local time from the eastern city of Wonsan. Earlier, they said North Korea fired a missile, but later updated that to projectiles. Japan says they did not land anywhere close to their shores and they are not under any threat. President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin had a lengthy phone call this morning. It is their first conversation since the release of the Mueller report, which did not find President Trump or his campaign aides conspired with Moscow. But it did find sweeping and systematic interference by Russia in the 2016 presidential election. President Trump said that was not discussed in today's call. He says they discussed the crisis in Venezuela as well as denuclearization of North Korea and trade.
Governor Tony Evers says he trusts Foxconn now that he knows their short-term plans. The governor met with the company's CEO Terry Gou yesterday. He called it a meet and greet since it was their first time meeting face-to-face. Since Gou is now moving out of daily operations to run for president of Taiwan, the governor was also introduced to those who would be taking over that role.
Certainly the people I have dealt with, the answer is yes. My goal with dealing with Foxconn has always been around issues of accountability and transparency, and I think we have helped shape that to some extent. We know now that what their present plans are, at least for the immediate present.
Now, although there is some clarity, the governor says he will continue to monitor Foxconn. He wants them to be as transparent as possible, especially about their environmental standards. You can watch Governor Evers' full interview with Neil Heinen on For the Record this Sunday at 10:30 a.m. right here on News 3 Now. A three-judge panel says a group of Democratic voters who are challenging Republican-drawn legislative districts can now depose Assembly Speaker Robin Vos. The voters filed a federal lawsuit in 2015 alleging the boundaries amount to an unconstitutional gerrymander. The Democrats want to question Speaker Vos about how Republicans drew those boundaries and how Republicans expected the lines to affect Democrats.
Imagine coming home from work and being surprised with a giant hole cut out of your previously full front yard. That's the reality for Monica Johnson, who lives on Reitz Road. She said no one even told her this would happen. She had to chase down construction workers to find out that it was for a bus pad, which gives easier access for people with disabilities. Since then, she's made calls to the city, the mayor, the metro, and multiple lawyers. She said she understands it has to go somewhere, but she just doesn't want it in her front yard, right in front of her window.
I am trying so hard to get this resolved in a way that works for the bus riders and the city and me.
We spoke with Metro and City Engineering, and they're working with Monica. Engineering told us that somehow they didn't tell her they were putting this in, but they did tell her about construction on her street. Because of the confusion, they have altered the project, opting to cut the square footage for a sidewalk and taking care of that cost themselves. Metro Transit is in charge of this bus stop and pad replacements, and they are talking with Monica and will decide if they can move it on Monday.
As several thousand UW students gear up for graduation next weekend, statistics show fewer than 30% of them will enter the field in which they majored, but that's not necessarily bad news. Amanda Quintana introduces you to a student who has found success outside of the degree he has been preparing for.
Don't let the absence of a perfect plan stop you from making a move.
A plan or a major in mind is something many incoming freshmen begin their college career with. It's also something they often deviate from.
I actually got involved with my first startup right around my freshman year.
For senior Jack Pollock, his plan changed, but his major didn't. He and his Boston-based partner, Avery Durant, are focusing on their startup called Drip that allows people to order drinks from local coffee shops before they arrive.
In an early stage startup, things are changing every single day. There's not necessarily one way to be doing things where you kind of need to just figure stuff out on the fly, and it's not necessarily something that I think you can learn in a class.
Pollock will be graduating next weekend with a degree in real estate, a degree he says he won't use.
Your major is what you do here, but it's not necessarily what you do when you're done with college.
UW Career Exploration Services Director Jonathan Ferguson says he's in a similar situation.
So any major on this campus can give you those skills. As an example, I was a history major. I'm not a historian, but I use the skills that I got during college on a day-to-day basis.
Skills like leadership and verbal communication, not just applicable to historians.
Give it a try. Like if you have something that you have in mind that you want to do, you know, there's no better time than while you're in college.
Amanda Quintana, News 3 Now.
Post-graduation, Pollock and his partner plan to grow their app to include more than 100 local coffee shops. After that, he says he isn't sure what's next.
Getting around during rush hour is already a pain, but throw construction into that mix and it can become a real headache. Drivers say they've noticed wait times doubling or even tripling at the Verona Road and Highway PD intersection. The Department of Transportation tells us that's because with the new, larger configuration of the intersection, there's just too much space for 2 lanes of cars to turn left at the same time safely.
7:30 to your 9, and then from your 4 to 6, it's just amazingly crazy out there. I'm surprised there hasn't been a lot of accidents, but people at least have slowed down enough and know that just take it easy, and it's going to take time.
The DOT tells us they've been constantly monitoring the volume of cars at this intersection and adjusting the configuration of lights as needed. Their main message to drivers now is be patient, plan for some extra time, and check out alternate routes on their website. And then early next week, crews will be shifting traffic near the intersection of Verona and Raymond Road. They say this will be the permanent configuration in that area. All of the asphalt and concrete that has piled up in the median will eventually be crushed and reused as a part of the project. Still ahead tonight, a closer look at the weekend forecast as our warm-up continues.
Plus, getting your own piece of history from the old GM plant in Janesville. Tomorrow's the day to do it. We'll tell you how next. Welcome back. The U.S. job market fires up once again. According to the Labor Department, employers added 263,000 jobs last month, and the nation's unemployment rate fell to 3.6%. That is the lowest level in nearly 50 years. Wallet Hub is out with its list of best airlines for 2019, and topping that list is Alaska Airlines. Delta was the most reliable with the lowest rate of cancellations, delays, and mishandled bags. JetBlue ranked as the most comfortable thanks to its amenities like free Wi-Fi and complimentary snacks.
Craft Beer Week wraps up this weekend here in Madison. This year, beer makers and consumers are celebrating the growing number of women in the industry. Women are still way in the minority in this line of work. Recent studies show women drink about a third of beer in the U.S., but only 4% of brewmasters are female.
Anytime that industries are dominated by a certain group of people and we're not reflecting the fullness of the diversity of society, we're missing out on the opportunities of what that segment of industry has to offer.
If you want to support the women doing great things in the food and drink industries here in Madison, Giant Jones is hosting a 3-course beer brunch on Sunday. Everything served there will be made by female-run businesses.
If you worked at the former GM plant in Janesville, or maybe just hoping to get your hands on a little piece of Janesville history, tomorrow is the day. At least 2,500 bricks will be given away at the Blackhawk Community Credit Union's drive-through tomorrow afternoon. That distribution will start at 1. Each vehicle will be limited to 2 bricks. You can pick them up at the Court Street location. Volunteers expect to be there until at least 4 p.m. Now, if you can't make it tomorrow, they say there is a good chance they'll have a second round of distribution date in the future. Jonah Larson has gotten some national attention for his hobby, his ability to crochet at lightning speed.
But it's what he wants to do with that in the future that caught the attention of some of the most nimble doctors at UW Hospital. The 11-year-old is set to become a surgeon. Today, he was invited to Madison to train alongside actual surgeons at UW Hospital. These tools may not be hooks and yarn, but simulating sutures and sewing up pretend wounds, it feels somewhat familiar.
Crochet helps with my hand dexterity. That's another reason I want to be a surgeon. This is what my future is going to be, so I feel like this is an important thing for me to do.
Oh, smart kid. Jonah's also decided he wants to go back to his home country of Ethiopia and treat people there. Along with testing out that dexterity, Jonah got to check out MedFlight and teach some of the doctors how to crochet.
You got to go on our Channel 3000 page and see that whole story. Jonah is amazing. Check that story out if you get the chance. And our forecast looking pretty amazing for the weekend, Gary.
Well, it couldn't have gotten any worse this past week. So, but this is about what we should be looking at for this time of year. Temperatures up around 70 degrees and more sunshine. Tonight, we're in between a couple of weather systems. One that brought some showers to our south this afternoon. Another one, little line of showers, and were a couple of thunderstorms earlier today have just fizzled out. Most of this activity will stay up to the north. You see the southern part of the line falling apart pretty quickly. But the computer models are showing more rain for next week, beginning on Monday, actually Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, but more so from Monday into Thursday. Generally about 1 inch to 1.5 inches according to the U.S. computer model. The European computer model, even more rain, 1.5 inches to 2.5 inches, with even heavier totals of 2 to 3 inches across much of Iowa and Illinois. That's not good news for areas that have had too much flooding. The time lapse of the Quibi Radio Skycam in Platteville, morning sunshine gave way to clouds in the afternoon, and then by evening you can see the sun coming right back out as that patch of clouds moved right on through. Live view from the Edgewater Skycam downtown Madison. Not seeing any fog in the lights around the Capitol. That's good news. Not seeing fog anywhere across southern Wisconsin right now. Low this morning, a little chillier at 33, but our high temperature up compared to previous days. We're at 59, still shy of the average high of 64. 46, the current temperature, winds out of the southeast at 7 miles per hour, and skies are mostly clear across the Madison area. High temperatures today, generally mid to upper 50s to lower 60s. Closer to Lake Michigan, temperatures only in the lower to mid 50s, and those temperatures have dropped into the lower 40s, whereas inland locations are anywhere between about 45 and 50 degrees. As we look at the weather across the country, lots of showers and thunderstorms through a part of the country that has just seen repeated shower and thunderstorm activity and also some severe weather over the last couple of days. That's where the jet stream is, but because the jet stream is farther to the south, that keeps us cool, but it also keeps the bulk of the rain and severe weather away from us. These weather systems that come in from the northwest just don't have a lot of moisture associated with them. A little trough of low pressure is what's responsible for those showers to our north and west. And then there's another band of showers with a weak cold front up toward North Dakota. Temperatures are cool, but not cold for this time of year. Generally 40s and 50s through much of the Midwest. On future track, you can see how that band of showers fizzles out overnight. Tomorrow, there might be a spotty shower that pops up in the afternoon. Then tomorrow night, skies will turn partly cloudy. The next weather system, that next cold front that was up near the U.S.-Canadian border, that one has a little bit more moisture associated with it. And as we get into Sunday, notice the chance for a shower or thunderstorm, especially by Sunday afternoon and Sunday night. This front will stall to the south of us. Then the next batches of showers and storms will move eastward and northeastward along that front. And that's what will bring us our better chances for rain as we head into next week. Overnight, look for partly cloudy skies, maybe a little patchy fog toward morning, low temperature dropping to 38. But tomorrow should be a partly sunny, a milder day with a high of 68. Just an outside chance for an afternoon shower. We'll show that on future track. Clear to partly cloudy skies overnight. Low temperatures will drop into the upper 30s. Remember, that band of showers to the north and west just kind of fizzles out. And then tomorrow, that kind of fires up again. There might be a stray shower along that line. High temperatures, upper 60s. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low temperatures in the mid 40s. And then that next front comes in from the northwest on Sunday with a shower or thunderstorm chance, but high temperatures right around 70. And that'll be mainly during the afternoon and evening hours. As we look into the rest of the extended forecast, again, the rain chances come in, those temperatures go down. Highs mid 60s on Monday, low 60s on Tuesday, and only low to mid 50s on Wednesday and Thursday. A little more sunshine toward the end of the week brings temperatures at least back up into the low to mid 60s for next weekend.
It'll be a nice weekend.
It will be.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gary. Some big points off the bench tonight for Pat Connaughton and George Hill. Highlights from this crucial Game 3 in Boston. Next in sports.
Well, in sports, especially in the postseason, there's always the argument of momentum. Some players and coaches think it's real. Others just say you just have to play hard in each individual game. Well, Giannis Antetokounmpo definitely a believer in momentum, and whatever it takes, it worked tonight in Game 3. The Bucks with some points off the bench today. Pat Connaughton, some big ones tonight. One of his 4 3-pointers. He scored 14 in the game. Second half, now Kyrie Irving knocking down a long ball, too. He scored 29 points for Boston Celtics. One at this point. The Bucks, though, they've been hot from 3 in these last 2 games. George Hill joining the party. He scored 21 points off the bench tonight, including this bucket, driving through the lane for the slam. Actually, there we go. I see you there. Fast forward to the 4th quarter now. Chris Middleton passing out here. Actually, this is Chris Middleton here, draining 3. Then later, Giannis, he had 32 points in the game, and afterwards he said his team is ready for anything.
Definitely have a lot of momentum. We got to keep playing good basketball, but at the end of the day, we got to keep defending. In Game 4, they're going to definitely play harder, but we got to be ready. We got to be the one that hits first.
Again, Giannis with 32 points, breaking 30 for the first time in this series, 123-116, the final. So the Bucks take the 2-1 advantage in the series. Game 4 will be on Monday in Boston, and Game 5 back at Fiserv Forum. 6 and 7 will be played only if necessary. An update on Christian Yelich, who is again not in the lineup tonight, but the reigning National League MVP did hit the cages today. He told reporters afterwards that it went, quote-unquote, great, so we can assume he'll be back soon. Meanwhile, the rest of the team picking up the slack. Tie game in the 5th. Ryan Braun sends one way back to center field. His 7th home run of the season, 3-1 Brewers. That would be the final score. Badgers softball hosting Nebraska. Huskers up 2-0 early, but bottom of the 1st. Lauren Foster, the suicide squeeze. Check out the wheels on Tyra Turner. Those slides, and she's safe. If you remember, Turner was a 5-sport athlete at Madison. La Folla, Badgers down 2-1. In the 2nd, Taylor Johnson going down the left field line, a 2 RBI double, and Wisconsin takes a 3-2 lead. But Nebraska coming back in the 6th and 7th. Badgers lose 5-3, the final. Day 1 of rookie minicamp for the Packers. The team signing all draft picks to contracts today. And head coach Matt LaFleur in his first year conducting the activities in Green Bay and getting in on the action himself. He actually told reporters he had to ice his arm afterwards. That's okay, it's just year 1. Former Badger running back Tywan Deal getting a tryout with the team in jersey number 34. And as for the drafted guys, they're thrilled to be playing for a storied team like the Packers.
I felt welcome just like at the airport. I just felt like I was home as soon as I landed. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's just a great feeling to finally have a place to call home. So.
Coming from Michigan, nothing but high standards, from the players, the coaches, and the fan. And it's the same thing here times 10. So, like I said, I'm happy to wear it is gold and green.
Now, first round pick Rashawn Gary that you just saw there wearing number 52. Yep, that's the former number of former Packer Clay Matthews. Gary also showed up with a brace on his right shoulder there. He has a history of shoulder injuries, but said the brace is nothing to be worried about. Team trainers thought it was just best if he played with it on, but he assures us he is okay. We'll be right back.
Gary's back. Final check of the forecast.
Well, temperatures are on the cool side tonight. There's our 10-day forecast, and you can see 68 for a high tomorrow. That's after a 38-degree low tonight, but 70 for Sunday. That's the good news. Just slight chances for a shower in the afternoon tomorrow and a slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm Sunday afternoon. But then as we get into next week, notice those temperatures go down as the rain chances go up. So expect wet weather off and on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, probably ending sometime on Thursday, and those temperatures below normal. As we get toward the end of next week and the following weekend, the temperatures will come back up as we get a little more sunshine, maybe a shower or thunderstorm chance on Saturday.
Was that Celtic green you're wearing?
It is a neutral green. I just want to point that out. It's just neutral green. All kinds of green are neutral here.
Well, it's Bucks green tonight. We'll take it. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10.
Do something good and have a great weekend.